All right. Hello, 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 hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. It's Sunday, February 25th, and you are on the Football Trio 1.22, episode 1.22. We've been around for a while, it looks like. Doesn't really feel that way, but it looks like we've been around for a while. So thank you so much for keeping the rendezvous. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please, if you could just share the link so that we can get a few more folks to join us. And of course, if you're not subscribed and you're joining us for the first time, do subscribe, hit that subscribe button because it's important for the, what do you call it? All the technical stuff that happens on the back end, right? Analytics and all that stuff. All right, cool, 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 cool. So with me today, I am joined by our football encyclopedia in human form, Ajab. How are you, sir?
Doing good, doing good, doing good. How are you?
Doing good. You don't seem too happy there, my man.
No. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Very good. All right.
Yeah,
So let's we don't have the analyst today, unfortunately. He is probably just stuck at the game. Still at the stadium and watching the Carabao Cup final. And he will be joining us shortly for sure. Hopefully before we close out the stream. But I thought it was important to come on here so we can say a huge, huge, huge congratulations to Liverpool for a job well done. Um, as you can tell, the title for our show today is the Liverpool Carabao Cup win. But also, we'll talk about football in general for the whole weekend, like maybe some talking points about what happened in the Premier League, the English, the German, the Bundesliga, La Liga, everything. We'll try to cover as much as we can in the time we have. So, let's get ready. Ajab, first
yes.
thoughts, Carabao Cup, first thoughts. What is what are
um,
you to say about Klopp registering his first of possibly four wins or four cups before he leaves Liverpool?
um, yeah. It was a good. I watched like I could say I've watched like the first 45 minutes like intense, and then the other 45 minutes and then extra time I was watching it because I was running a few errands, so I was watching it from my phone, but I actually watched
Hmm.
the first 45 minutes. It was an exciting game. Liverpool took over the first 15-20 minutes. Chelsea got into the game, especially after Gravenberg's injury. I think
Hmm.
when they brought in Gomez and brought in the Bradley kid into the midfield, Chelsea kind of had some dominance in the middle of the park. But the game at some point, the game tend to be a very, like, I don't know if I'll say not an end-to-end game like it was in the first half. But credit to Jurgen Klopp. Like some people already saying that he used his academy kids to beat Chelsea at the finals. Yeah, you could see that lots of Liverpool players, like key players like Salah, Zoboslai, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and a few others were missing from the starting lineup, which is not an excuse though. That's why it's good to have a bigger squad, a thick squad. Chelsea, on the other hand, I don't know if I will say maybe Pochettino. He got into the game at some point, but that also I think maybe some of the subs he made were uncalled. Jackson is not a scorer, but at least every game he plays, he puts the defenders on their toes. He may not be that goal scoring striker, but he has one thing he's good at. If you notice, once he was subbed, Liverpool, Van
Hmm.
Dijk and Konate were on vacation.
That's true.
Yeah, Konate
Very
and
true.
they were on vacation. So sometimes it's like maybe Pochettino already has at the back of his mind that I'm going to make this amount of subs. I'm going to have these players leave at this point. I'm going to replace them with these players. It's like he already has his sub in his mind that, okay, at 17 minutes, I need to take off this player, even if he's in the game or not. At 85 minutes, I have to take off this guy. So it's like he has his, Wilfred Schaffer, when Wilfred Schaffer was the coach of Cameroon, at any
Hmm.
point, you knew he was going to be Ngom Kome replacing Salomon Olembe and Davy Powers replacing Patrick Mboma. We knew that
Patrick
already
Boma.
every
There
game.
you
So
go.
maybe that's what's happening to Porsche. But Jurgen Klopp, yeah, I'm a huge fan of Jurgen Klopp. So if he has to win four trophies before leaving, he should do it. He's one to go, like someone is written on the comment section, one to go, one down, two more to go. But
Three more,
yeah,
because
no,
there's a
but he's saying
possibility
two
of
more.
three more champ.
Maybe he's not including the Europa League. Maybe
The
he's
Europa
focusing
League,
on
yeah.
the English on
So
the
they're still in the FA Cup
English
fifth
squad.
round, which
So
is coming up,
yeah,
right?
it's FA
They're still in
Cup
the FA
and
Cup,
then
and
the
they're also
Premier
in the
League, and
Premier
then
League
but
run,
I'm
and then the
scared they
Europa
keep on.
League.
Oh, True Lion is here. They keep on getting injuries that may affect them in the long run. With when General Match, as they call it, the March
Hmm.
month of March, they call it General Match. When that month comes in, it's going to maybe affect them with the injuries they have based on the way they control the EPL. Better.
That's right. So
Well,
we can. I mean, I think we can say for sure that hey, True Lion, welcome to the stream, brother. I can see you now. How are you today? Hope you're doing good. I think you were still doing your victory lap around the stadium there for the Carabao Cup final win for Liverpool. How's everything, my brother?
I'm fine. How you guys doing?
we're
We're
doing good.
doing
We're
good.
doing
We're
good. We're
doing
doing
good.
good.
All right. We're just trying to point. We're just talking on some of the talking points for today's game, the Carabao Cup win for Liverpool, and I wanted. We're just about to talk about these youngsters, right? Liverpool has so much in so many questions in terms of availability of players like Alisson, Soboslai, Salah, Nunez, Diogo Jota, Thiago Alcantara,
Trent.
Joel Matip, all of those players
Trent.
because of
Trent. Yeah.
injuries or suspensions or whatever is going on with them. But you can see that Jurgen Klopp here today displayed his how do you even say it? He's what he sees for the future of Liverpool. Players like Jaden Dance were subbed in, Connor Bradley, James McConnell, Bobby Clark. Those are kids, 18 years old. 18-year-olds. Joseph Gomez, Joe Gomez came in, of course, to help out. Jaro Kwanzaa. So those are all players who came in throughout this game. All 18-year-olds, academy kids, and they were able to still hold their own and of course help their team to victory. So what does this say about heroic standing performances as well as these kids just knowing exactly what to do and what their coach expects of them? That's any thoughts there?
Well, I had a preview about this game, and I said that Chelsea needed to stay in the game, make this competitive. But at one point, we thought that Chelsea was not making the right decisions in the final third. They were not taking their chances, and even on the goal that they conceded, we saw a player like Modric. He did not attack the ball; he just stood square. So yeah, Liverpool was actually the better team, more organized, and the Kings, as you said, they knew what their objective was. And they had a leader in the team in Virgil van Dijk, man of the match, who could actually guide them on how to obtain those objectives. So, yes, I think Liverpool was just a better team, although they had kids coming into the league.
Okay. I think we lost your audio there at the end, but I didn't catch the last part. But for some of the other talking points today, looking at the game, there was a question about VAR. Van Dijk had his first goal disallowed. It was called interference by what's the guy
Endo. Endo.
Endo.
Endo.
Endo.
On Endo on call.
Interference by Endo on Colwell, who
Mhm.
stopped progress or his possible defending of that cross, which led to an eventual goal. And of course, that was brought back for the offside because he was in an offside position to start with before doing that. That aside, there was a situation where a red card could have occurred, right? There could have been a red card because of a tackle. Um, uh, and I mean, a couple of questionable calls or arguably discussion fact calls. I should say it that way. I don't want to say they were controversial per se because I think they were pretty clear cut decisions. But any thoughts about that, guys?
Um, which you're
Well,
talking about the
I don't think. Yes, a low touch, but I don't think it was a red card on that foul. Maybe a yellow card. So
Hmm.
that actually was a foul missed by the ref, but it did not have any impact. Yes, the guy got injured, but it did not have an overall impact on the game itself.
Hmm. But should Caicedo have finished this game because that tackle on Gravenberg was pretty?
Oh, you're talking about the tackle on Granberg. No, I don't think it's
Yeah.
a red card. I think it's a yellow card.
We've seen that given before, though, right?
Yeah.
We've seen a red card given. I think when Curtis Jones actually did a similar tackle against Tottenham when they played Tottenham, and I think he was yellow carded, and it was a second yellow card that had him sent off. No,
Yeah.
oh
So
well,
I
he was
think
given a yellow card, but then VAR interfered and
yeah.
asked that the ref check again, and then they came back and gave him a red
So
card. It
that's
was
what
a
I'm
very
thinking. That
similar tackle, no?
yeah. So I'm thinking VAR made an error in giving Jones the red card.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think
Okay,
they should make another error in giving
in
Casido the red
giving.
card. So that's
Okay.
how I look at it. So I think it was a mistake that VAR. To me, That red card that was issued to Jones against Tottenham wasn't valid. So I don't think they should do the same now to Casido because they had done it. There are two wrongs. To me, two wrongs will not make it right.
Okay. All right. Well, gentlemen, I just want to check. Anybody on the stream, are you guys hearing any background music? Because I think a message just came in saying there's background music somewhere.
Background music.
I'm not hearing any background music.
I'm
Okay,
actually hearing the music on my side.
you're
I'm not
hearing
hearing
the
any background
the
music.
jingle maybe on your end because you maybe have a uh what do you call it, another window open maybe.
You mean me?
No, True Lion.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. So Liverpool, congratulations to Liverpool. Let me see. Is there anything else we can talk about this victory? I just think Jurgen Klopp, having announced his retirement, this team now has a lot to play for. I actually saw a comment in one of the groups that I'm on WhatsApp. I want to read it out because I think it's very it's packed with some content that we can really talk about because it looks like this comment is from Rata. I want to just give him academic honesty requires that we state the source. He says, I'll say something that may be controversial, and I expect pushback, especially from the Sky Blues. But Liverpool players play for the badge and love for their coach. City players are professional footballers and play with a lot of fear for their coach. United players don't just give a damn. The check still comes in on Fridays. And Chelsea players don't know why they are even playing. Their victories almost seem accidental. And he didn't mention Liverpool and Arsenal. And someone mentioned mentioned why what about Arsenal? He said Arsenal players are always auditioning to be signed to by a likely title winning team. Their medals are waiting for them outside of London. They ran out of gunpowder many years ago. So quick thoughts. There's a lot to unpack in that comment. Um, but I just want to say, I mean, was it heart versus hype in this situation where you see players really playing to send their coach off with something big and something historic in terms of making sure he gets the Carabao win versus a situation where folks are just playing because they don't even understand why they're on the field and how they made their way to the Carabao Cup final.
I just think that Liverpool, I don't. It has nothing to do with club living. Whenever Liverpool is playing at that level, they always prove. They always prove it. It has nothing to do with club living. Even if club wasn't living or not, Liverpool will still show up. So it has nothing to do with club living. And my only fear is this: club is bringing up some kids that are really, really good, but are very young. So Liverpool has to make a very smart decision for whoever will replace club.
Come in,
For
yeah.
someone who is coming to replace club, and is someone who's just going after trophies, who sideline those kids. And the next thing we hear is that Bradley has been loaned to Swansea.
Hmm.
Kwanzaa has been loaned to um, to Nottingham Forest, and then 4, 5, 6 years down the road, you start asking where are these guys? Like things that happen to people like Andre Wisdom and the rest. So whoever Liverpool is bringing in, I know Liverpool is that team that is patient enough. It's not a team that will bring in someone to replace Klopp, and maybe if the person finishes 6 or 7, they're going to kick out that person. Liverpool is not that type of team. Liverpool looks like a team that will give you time until you prove to them that you're not up to the task. Then they're going to kick you. They're not going to wait for one season with a bad season and then they kick you out. So that's what I wanted to make the kids that are coming up from Liverpool this season. I watched Liverpool beat Arsenal. I think that was the FA Cup in the Emirates. And
Hmm.
then today, some of the kids that have played. And then Kwanzaa has been playing so good lately since the beginning of the season. He's one of the reasons Liverpool didn't sign an additional centre back. So whoever is coming to replace Klopp needs to nurture those kids in a very good way to get the right juice out of them. Don't
Okay.
sideline them because you want to win trophies.
All right, that's an amazing take there, Ajab, and it definitely has value in what you're positing, and yeah, I mean it's something that it's commendable, right? The way Liverpool has set themselves up for a transition that is going to almost guarantee them the success, the levels to stay on, and like you said, we cannot insist enough how important it is for them to make the right decision in terms of the coaching staff and who comes in after Klopp. We've seen Manchester United struggle since Sir Alex Ferguson left. Like we can say up till now, Manchester United has not found their footing, especially in the coaching department, with about 6, 7 coaches after Sir Alex left. So
Yeah,
that's still, I mean, maybe 8 coaches even, because they had caretaker coaches in between. So
yeah.
that's still that's to say, and even after for Manu, for example, they had people like Mourinho come in and still didn't, do the thing, do the drag, Van Hal and the Gengen press guy and all that good stuff. Since Alex Ferguson, they're still struggling to find the right guy.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely correct in that one. True Lion, I want to get your take on here about what Ajab just said and pointed to. It's really interesting. It's really an interesting take, I believe, and I feel like it definitely warrants some exploring. No.
Yeah, could you recap that? I was trying to fix
Oh,
that
Yeah, yeah,
line.
so
yeah. We're talking about the Liverpool situation with Jurgen Klopp leaving, and of course, Ajab pointed out or highlighted the fact that the next coach has to be, they have to make a very special decision
a
or a
very
very
smart, yeah, a very
smart
smart
decision
decision
as
because
to
of the
who comes
kids.
in for Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah, some of these kids
Well,
now, if a new coach comes that is just a trophy chaser, you might sideline those kids, and that will be done. And very soon you start hearing them they're in Swansea on loan, or they've gone to Celtic or Rangers, and then 3 years down the road, we never hear again about Kwanzaa or Bradley, or because Bradley is playing now. Some Liverpool fans even forgot that Trent Alexander-Arnold is injured because of the way Bradley has been performing. So things like that. Whoever is coming to replace Klopp needs to be a very smart person that's going to know how to pamper, not pamper, how to manage those kids.
yeah, I guess those things are usually not straightforward as well, because it took Klopp himself 7 years, right? How long did
Yes,
it take him
took a
to
little
fix
while
it?
for him to set. Yeah,
Yeah,
about five seasons. Five
exactly.
seasons.
So that tells you that the back office is pretty solid and they have a project, not just looking for 1 year, 2 year coaches to win trophies. So it tells you that they have a stronger foundation than a team like Manchester United, as you guys mentioned, because all that starts from a project at the back office. And the way you see that project goes, that's how even Manchester City, look at the way Manchester City started. They had a project at the back office before they even had to land a guy like Pep Guardiola. However, yes, it will be difficult to replace a guy like Klopp. Coaches like Klopp are special; they come once in a while, once in a lifetime. So I would expect Liverpool to go ahead and replace a guy like Klopp. They'll just have a different coach that will come and leave their own legacy or maybe struggle. Who knows?
Okay. All right, and that's definitely understandable. I think Arsenal almost fell in that trap, but I think with Arteta now they have the man. So enough about Carabao Cup. But before we round out about the Carabao Cup, a huge congratulations again to Liverpool and Liverpool fans. I know you guys are definitely celebrating now. Um, and big win. Van Dijk scoring 2 goals. One of them was disallowed for VAR, and the other one counted when it needed to count with I think 2 minutes left on the clock, and befitting captain, leading the troops to send off Klopp, if we may say, on a great farewell or a huge bang farewell, if I can use those terms. So uh, Liverpool fans, hats to you. Tip of the hats to you guys. Congratulations. Enjoy savoring the victory. There's a Carabao Cup. That's one. You guys are still in for three more on top of this one. So hopefully we see how that goes. Now let's get on to the Premier League and talk about the title chase. Liverpool, of course, is leading the pack. Liverpool is leading the pack with by 1 point, right? City won yesterday. Liverpool won. Arsenal also won. So the top three are separated by a point each. A point from each other. And so let's talk a little bit about the Premier League and what our quick thoughts are. Any talking points to take home from this weekend's games? Ajab, I'll give you the honors.
Yeah, Man City has been grinding results lately. They haven't really been the Man City we know. That's dominant, scoring goals as they usually do, or scoring goals for fun, scoring goals for fun. But there's
Hmm.
one thing I want to say about City, which I still think that they have an edge over Arsenal and Liverpool, is that City, besides the fact that they have a bigger squad, when you see a top team struggling and still winning their games, then you have to watch out.
Hmm.
Because when Liverpool or Arsenal, when they play bad, they don't win. Yeah. So when you
Yeah.
see a top team playing bad and still winning the games, even if it's 1-0 or 2-1, it means we'll have to watch out. Watch out. We'll have to watch out. But Arsenal too, they're coming, they're proving when they want to win too, they win their games. Like they want to let their rivals know that we're coming for you, you know?
Mhm.
They've scored 25 goals in the last 5 games or something like that, or
Yep.
25
Yep.
goals in the last 6 games.
25 goals in the last five
Yeah,
games.
so look at what they did to Newcastle. They just made Newcastle pay for the sins of FC Porto, you know? So and then Liverpool, like I mentioned earlier, Liverpool, they're missing some key players. Like I said, it's not an excuse, but it's an excuse. Someone will say injury is part of football, but I never agree with that talk that injury is part of the game because you have some players that are better than others. You have some players that when they're absent, you miss them. So and you cannot have all your 22 or 23 players at the same level. I don't think there's any team in this world who's ever been like that. So having Salah, Nunes, Zoboslai, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Allison all injured is going to hurt Liverpool, especially coming into March where that's when teams start
That's
to
when
make
they
their
start.
decisions about if we're going to stay or we're going to finish top four. You know, so that may hurt if Liverpool. If those guys won't come back, let's say within the next 1 or 2 weeks, it's going to hurt
Mhm.
Liverpool because Liverpool. I think Liverpool still has to play City. Liverpool still has to play a
They
few other
still have to
teams.
play.
So
Liverpool
it's
has
gonna be yeah.
Manchester United.
Man
Yeah, they
U.
have
They have
United, but
yeah.
yeah, but it's United. It's always a
They have
rivalry. United
a
is
tough
always going to
derby
be.
game with Everton because it's
Yeah,
always tough.
yeah. So it's going to be a little bit tough for them with having some of those key players injured. And you know, they might come back with that energy to try to get some points, and then they go back injured. So it's really club has to really manage the squad well. So it's still looking to me like City is going to win, but it's going to be tough this time around. I don't see any team winning with about 2 games to go. Maybe they might win the league on the 37th day, or if
Mhm.
possibly the 38th day, the last day of play. So that's how I look at it so far. But Arsenal is still in contention. Liverpool is still in contention. Man City is still in contention. Yeah, that's how I look at it.
All right, piggybacking off of that, Ajab, I am looking at Liverpool's injury list here, and I'm just looking, and it says Alison Becker is expected back late March, Curtis Jones mid March, Davin Nunez still doubtful, not sure, Diogo Jota mid April, Joe Matip out for the season, Dominic Sloboslai still not sure, doubtful, so he might be available in their next game. Mo Salah still doubtful, not sure when he's coming back. Thiago Alcantara, muscle injury, not sure when he's coming back. Trent Alexander Arnold, late March. And Stefan Bacetic, I think he's not a first teamer, but he has a calf injury. He should
He's
be
the
back in
first
a
team,
few
but he's
days,
not played the entire
Yeah,
season.
but guys,
the entire
guys,
season. So that tells you they would definitely face Man City without most of their um if you would like to say top performing players, right? They
but
would have
guys,
to figure out a makeshift team. But yeah, True Lion, jumping on this one.
yeah, I,
Your take.
I, I slightly don't agree. I mean, it's part of every team suffers injuries, and you have a big team, 24 players, or you can maybe get players from the lower leagues, whatever, So it's part of football. When players get injured, you can fill with other players. Look at how what team was that? I mean, Manchester City, De Bruyne have been gone for quite a while. Even the previous years they had injuries, so we should not be talking about injuries. You have players,
Mhm.
let them play.
You call just one
Okay.
player, the brain, but we're talking here
Yeah,
about
but
six
last
other
season, last
players.
season, I mean, I can call you many different seasons. Manchester United also. Manchester United have been struggling because of injuries. Chelsea also. I mean, so
Yeah,
every team
but
deals with injuries.
okay.
Yeah, I mean it's understandable. Injuries are part of the game. I think many coaches already talk about that whenever they give their pressers and before or after the game, right? And it's understandable. But we also have to talk about the effect that the injuries have on the team,
Oh yes, of course,
right?
of
Because the
course.
output of the team is affected by these injuries. If Liverpool had lost today, for example, we would have said, well, it's because the young kids were allowed to play, right?
I would say that.
So those are some of the things that I know that as an analyst, I know you don't care about those things. You want to focus on what the football is, the systems of play, and all that, right, on the field. But I mean, these talking points can be ignored outside of the football field. We
I
do
mean,
talk
but it's
because
just a one liner, right? It's just a one liner. I
Mhm.
cannot talk about injuries for
Well,
1 minute, or for I cannot talk about that. I just
understood,
talk about the
understood.
players that are on the field.
All right. Cool, cool, cool. So we've talked about the top three. What are realistic chances? I know Tula, I'm sorry. I know you've worked on some match reviews. You talked about Arsenal's trouncing of Newcastle. We actually put that up. We does this look like Arsenal, the set piece masters of the Premier League, are with Saka and Havertz and of course Declan Rice and old hat Jorginho, inspiring them to victory, an emphatic win against Newcastle for that matter. Does that say what does that say about the team and their chances here, especially after the lackluster display against Porto? I know Ajab earlier posited about Newcastle paying for the sins of Porto midweek. But what are your quick thoughts about Arsenal's prestation and performance, and then we will segue into the chase for the fourth spot, and of course European spaces places. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Arsenal is playing with a lot of confidence. No one actually wants to play Arsenal right now. They are the hottest team. Yes, I know Liverpool is on top of the table. I know Liverpool has been having some good wins, but Arsenal. Let's not forget about 3 weeks ago. When was that? Just beat Liverpool 3-1 convincingly, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they riding with that type of confidence where they also beating Manchester City. I know that was a long time ago, 1-0, but that team is actually believing in themselves, and the type of football they are playing right now is actually very convincing, because if you look at a team like Newcastle, Newcastle is not just a bad team. They came out, they tried to press Arsenal up high. Arsenal was able to beat that pressure, and then that forced Newcastle to sit in deep. And when you look at Arsenal, they're playing great. For me, they have the best defense in the EPL. Their midfield, yes, we could say it's comparable with the others. And
Mm-hmm.
then their strike force is not also the best, but the way they are playing, the way they are dominating games, the way they are creating opportunities, that's what's causing them to score many goals. And then they have corner kicks, that set piece where they go ahead and crowd the goalkeeper, the penalty area, and then they try to put the ball just where, a little touch can create a goal. And we saw those two own goals yesterday. So yeah, Newcastle came to play. They knew they were gonna have a long day, and they had no solution for Arsenal. So Arsenal in six games in 2024, they have scored 25 goals, conceded only 3 goals, 8 clean sheets. Think about that. Yes, I think Manchester City, for me, in my opinion, Manchester City is favorite to win the
Mm-hmm.
league. Arsenal for me is close second. Liverpool comes third.
All right, great. So a lot of talk about City's chances. Everybody's so confident that City will win the league. I keep asking myself, like, this City team hasn't been playing so well, but somehow they keep getting the results. It took them a lot to get that goal this weekend and against Bournemouth, and somehow they keep getting the 3 points, which is really interesting for me. But I think the top three is definitely a fun race. That keeps things interesting. Um, having a three-horse race in this part of the in this at this time of the season. I don't know if we'll be in the same position come the end of March, but hopefully it's still the same thing, so that it keeps things interesting and
Yeah,
fresh, and
it's
so
been a
that we can
while.
keep watching and tuning in. We don't want a
It's,
situation like
yeah,
France or the Bundesliga, where
like
teams are literally running away with it
yeah,
already and they still
it's
have
been
two
a
months
while.
to go.
You know, it's been a
Yeah.
while. We haven't had that EPL where you wait until the 37 or 38 day to get a winner. We need that.
Mhm.
You know,
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's segue into the chase for European spots. With Tottenham not being able to play on Friday against Chelsea because of Chelsea's involvement in the Carabao Cup final today. That game was postponed. I don't know when they plan to play it. Um, Tottenham, of course, didn't get to play this weekend. With that, it means Aston Villa winning against Nottingham Forest yesterday puts them in pole position at 52 points, while Tottenham is at 47 points and actually adds separation. And again, Man U losing to Fulham keeps them in sixth position with 44 points. Any thoughts about this three horse race right here for position of fourth place?
Yeah, I think basically these teams, some of them, especially Aston Villa, Tottenham, they have played their best football this season
Hmm.
already. So now that they are not playing that good, it's gonna be who actually has uh, a deeper bench or a better team to hang in there and make it in that top four. And I think Tottenham. If you look at Tottenham, the way they've been playing, Tottenham looks like the most likely team. However, Emery is another good coach, and he really wants to make that European position. He's Tottenham lost. I think they lost their last game, and Aston Villa has just won. So that game, Tottenham Chelsea. I know Chelsea will be coming into that game. You know, looking that they just missed the Carabao Cup. I mean, it's gonna be an interesting one, and it's gonna be a London derby. So interesting race to the fourth position.
That's great. Ajab, any quick thoughts on this one?
Yes, I'm gonna be a little bit sentimental with this. I think I'll prefer. Let me put it this way. I'll prefer Spurs to finish fourth, but the way things are going, first they have a thin squad, and every other game you have at least two Tottenham players injured, so that
Hmm.
too may affect them, and they have a thin squad. Aston Villa, Trulan also mentioned about Unai Emery. He's looking to be someone who knows what his team wants to play, and he's been succeeding in imposing that philosophy to them. So, looking at the way Aston Villa is playing, they may end up getting that fourth spot. And United losing to Fulham yesterday is kind of keeping them away from the fourth spot already. Although we still have a reasonable amount of games
12
till the end
games.
of the season.
So yeah.
But when you start losing this kind of games at this point, it's gonna affect. And United too, they have some kids that mentally, I don't think people like Ganacho and the rest mentally, Kobe Mino, they are not those players that you think they can easily get some of this kind of result out of their mind right away to get themselves prepared. They might still be being kicked in the mind, like what's going on, you know. So mentally, they have some of those kids who are now guaranteed starters for Man United, who I think cannot take United to another level at this point. With United
Hmm.
being one of the biggest clubs in the world, when you have players like that, or when you rely on players like Hoyland to be your main man, I think there are issues there. You cannot have a team like Manchester United and then they have only one recognized striker in Highland. Their second striker is an injured Anthony Martial. So I don't think United is ready for the fourth spot this season. They might have to do some overhaul and then maybe come back next season. But for now, I think that fourth place is going to be a fight between Aston Villa and Tottenham Hotspurs.
Yeah, but if I understand what you're saying, Ajab, but if you look at the form, right, the teams that the way they have been playing, look, United has the best win rate in the last 3 or 4 games, or last 5 games even, right? United before their loss to Fulham, United was on a streak of wins.
Okay.
Aston Villa had lost two out of the last five. United had not lost a single game out of their last five,
Hmm.
and Tottenham had lost two, drawn two, lost one, sorry, drawn two, and won only two. So even though they're separated by 3 or 4 points here and there, 3 or 4, my math is off, 3 or 5, yeah, 3 and 5 points. It's still, I mean, there was this hope building, especially in United fans, that finally their team was starting to click. And things were starting to look up, and somehow United always has this dance where they make 2 or 3 steps forward, and excuse me, and have to end up regressing, because once they start losing, they lose for a few games, and then they go before they go back to winning ways.
And
um yeah,
and
go ahead.
yeah, sorry to interrupt. United's next game is against Man City.
Yeah.
And United is 8 points behind Aston Villa. So imagine them losing that game and then Villa
No.
winning. So that's going to be 11 points, right?
Actually, I think United's next game is on Wednesday against Nottingham Forest.
Okay.
It's the FA Cup. But the Premier League, okay, I think you're right. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean
fixture.
Premier League,
Premier
not
Yeah,
League
FA
is
Cup.
Man
Yeah.
City. Yeah,
Yeah.
Man
this
City.
is
Yeah, but
this
if they win in the FA Cup, I think it will give them that impetus to, you know, explode on Sunday because
Okay.
they're playing. It's a derby game. You never know. It can go either way. They're
No,
still
no, no.
playing
I'm not
Manchester.
saying they're going to lose for sure. I'm just saying that it's a tough
Hmm.
game because City too has Arsenal right behind them. So
True.
it's not like City is comfortable at the top. Like City is
True.
it's not lonely at the top. So it's going to be like a real game. United fighting to get back themselves into the fight for the fourth spot. City trying to maintain themselves in the second or even first place. So it's really
Hmm.
going to be a good game. But like
All
I
right.
said, it's Man
Let-
City they're playing.
this is how I look
Let's
at it,
get
right?
True Lion on this. True Lion, go ahead.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is how I look at it for United. When you look at Ten Hag, he's more of a reactive coach this year. And as I have just said, 8 points off Aston Villa, being more of a reactive coach, a coach that cannot really go out there and say, okay, uh, we need this victory and we are going to get it. Regardless, we are playing Manchester City, we need this victory, we are going to get it. Because I think when it comes to tactics, he's he's not been that good in the EPL. And chasing a team like Aston Villa with Emery as coach and also Tottenham, it's gonna be tough for United to make that top four. It's
Yeah.
gonna be tough, honestly.
All right. Cool beans. Cool beans. Okay, we've talked about the European spots. Now let's talk about relegation. Somehow that fight is still ongoing. I particularly feel for Everton. Even with a 10-point deduction, they are sitting 1 point above the relegation zone, which is really, really disheartening for me because they had gone on a really good run at some point. They've had a bunch of draws and then a loss. But then we have Luton that's been playing really good. They're 18th in the league. Burnley is 19th, and then Sheffield 20th place. Sheffield a shoe in to be relegated. Burnley for sure. They're both on 13 points. I don't see them ever turning that around. So Luton, Nottingham Forest, Everton, and Brentford. Which of these teams do you guys think is definitely joining them? Because that's my call for
The new
uh relegation.
the newcomers, they should go back.
Okay. So
Yeah, the
Luton.
newcomers should go back. They should go back to where they belong and prepare themselves for the next. I don't know when next they're gonna come back because we're also looking at the championship. You see Leicester City and Southampton may come back, but
Mhm.
let's forget about that. Let's focus on the Premier League. So if you look, if you ask me, I'll just say those new guys they should go back to where they belong.
All right.
Yeah, I
So
think
yeah, go ahead, True Lion.
yeah, I think it's gonna be a miracle for Everton to actually stay in the EPL this season after a deduction of 10 points. However, I think Nottingham Forest and Luton are also in danger of going down.
Okay. All right. Let's sample some comments here before we move on. And quickly talk about the other leagues. Comment LFC Oye. I think that's Asongu.
Yeah, it's a diehard Liverpool fan. That's why.
Yeah, diehard Liverpool guy. One down, two more to go. So I think he's talking about
I think we lost Nico.
Yeah, he says one down, two to go.
Yeah, one down, two more to go. So I think he's talking about the EPL and the FA. I don't think he's talking about Europa League because maybe he thinks Liverpool is bigger than the Europa League. They're not going to celebrate the Europa League.
Oh well, if you can celebrate EFL
Thank
Cup,
you. Yeah.
yeah, then you can celebrate the Europa League, right?
Hmm.
I think let me see. There's a comment also on there was a comment on Facebook. Let me pull it up.
uh for sure. Congratulations to you. Someone just point was a Typhon play ZRB. Liverpool is shit. Okay. Well, I'm not too sure I'm allowed to say that out loud, but they're winning. They're winning.
He's probably responding to that. One down, two more to go. Yeah. Yeah,
All
that's
right. So on Facebook, I have JC Fru who is saying, "Hi folks, for me it is between Liverpool and City. Arsenal should focus on finishing in the top four." Sorry, Nico. I know. It's all good. It's all good. But I think this year, Arsenal has. I think last year Arsenal learned and swallowed the bitter pill. It has caused the team to actually go back, and I think the worst part was losing to West Ham the way we lost. And right around that Christmas time, it really hurt these guys. Yeah, because it was the fact that Declan Rice came from West Ham, and then there was so much banter about it and how much we paid.
Yeah,
Then we lost that in that manner, so it hurt these guys. I'm pretty sure they went back to Dubai. Whatever they did in Dubai, I just pray that they keep doing it because
they,
it's working.
You know why? I'm not sure why people think that Arsenal could have won the league last season. I don't see how that could have happened. Yes, of
How so?
course, they finished second, but for me, it was more like it was by default that there was no other team better. When you look at the team and you look at the team that Arsenal had, you look at their midfield, Partey going down, who had to come in, first real year of Arsenal playing good football. That was just it. So yes, they have shown some growth from that,
Mm.
but I don't think Arsenal could have won the league last year. Never,
Are you sure? Because
never.
Yeah,
I think there was a
last year
point
was
where
like,
people started believing. There were so many
yeah,
people who were so much in denial, and at some point, people started believing. Now, if Arsenal hadn't lost that, hadn't tied that game to Southampton, I guarantee you, Arsenal would have won this league.
Arsenal,
Man,
Arsenal was a
Because it's,
preparation.
the tie to
Last season was a
Southampton actually
preparation.
caused that little decline, and they went ahead and lost to Brighton, and then lost to what was the other team?
Man City.
Yes, and then
yeah.
Nottingham
And
Forest. That was the worst
another
one. They
point,
went to
another point I'll show
Nottingham
you. You
Forest and
just
lost.
calling games. You just
So
calling games. You looking at teams and just calling games. Nottingham Forest this. No, that's not how the EPL works. Because if it was on paper, then we can just write out the check and say, okay, Manchester City has won the league. But that's not how it
no, no,
works.
no. But they were
The way it
separated by
works,
5 points. That's what I'm saying. And
it
those
does,
5 points were from those games.
but it
Because they
doesn't
were,
matter.
remember,
City had a
Arsenal was
game.
ahead of City.
City had a game or two in hand. I mean,
They,
it
that's
doesn't
true.
it doesn't really work that way because the way I look at it is that when you looked at that Arsenal team, we know real depth. Okay, we
Hmm.
know real good players coming out of from the bench. Who do you think it was gonna be? Jesus is gonna be. Who did you think was gonna win that league when it came to the line? Let's say last 2 3 days, it was on the line. Who did you think was gonna win that for Arsenal? So for me, it doesn't really work that way because Arsenal really didn't even have a plan B. But this year, you see, what Ateta did is that he started the season with his plan B. And a lot of people will say, "Oh, why did he change? Arsenal is not really gelling that way. Why did he change?" But now you see Arsenal gelling. He's shown that they have another level. Then they have a player even like what's his name? Partey has not played for so long. Everybody has even forgotten about Partey. You
True,
know,
true.
but the team is actually gelling now at the right time. Yes,
So
this
what
year
are you thinking? What are you thinking? You think Arsenal can win this season, this year?
I just
Are
gave
they
you my
better off this year than they were last year?
yeah I just gave you my top three. I said if Manchester City is the favorite, Arsenal close second, Liverpool comes third.
Okay,
That's the way I look at it. Arsenal is the hottest team in the league right now. No one wants to play Arsenal. Bring
true.
Manchester City, bring Liverpool, bring any team to play Arsenal right now. No one wants to play. Could you say that last year? No, you couldn't say that. They could not beat Manchester City. They could
That's
not
true.
beat Liverpool. Yeah, you could not say that last year. But this year, you can truly say that.
Okay. All right. I just feel like at some point in the league we had 8 points and an 8 point lead on City, and we bought, and somehow City
Let me
caught
ask
up
you a
and
question. Let me
but
ask
it's
you a
okay.
question. Let me ask
Go
you a
for it.
question. Do you
Go
know
for
the
it.
way Manchester City prepares for a season?
No, no. I mean, I'm not a
They
City fan.
they
I don't
they, they start like half throttle. They
mm,
know when they wanna hit
really
up.
step it up. Yeah.
Exactly. That's how
Yeah.
they. It's
And I
it's
think that's what
experience.
Arteta is emulating now, right? Arteta is trying to emulate that now
Exactly.
by,
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
anyways, great, great, great. Let's check on some more comments here. Facebook, uh, JC Fru, of course, he says no way Brentford is going down. Agreed. But somehow, when you look at the table from 15th all the way to 20th, there's a chance that anybody can drop. And if Brentford is not careful, they've won only one in the last five. If they're not careful, they may have to make some tough decisions with their coaching staff there. I'm not too sure. Because losing the way they've been losing, it's a little, and their next game is, I think, West Ham,
Then they got
London
Arsenal
Derby.
soon too.
Yeah, yeah, and then yeah. So, let me see what other comments. Okay, he's a super Tottenham fan here. JC Fru on Facebook, he says they will not finish. They will finish not finished. Oh, so they will finish above. They will finish fourth above Aston Villa. So yeah, I've never trusted Unai Emery as a coach. I think I've made that clear on the streams prior to this one, uh, because of the fact that he bottled that game against Barcelona as a PSG coach. Since then, I've never trusted him. I never liked that he was hired as Arsenal coach. Never,
One game.
you
You
He's
use
know.
a
one
top
So,
top
game
coach.
to
but
make.
go ahead. Yeah, just
You use
one game.
one game.
Yeah,
to
it was
to
it was
to
two games. Two games.
okay. You use two
The
games.
away game and the return game.
No,
When you win the away game the way you
no, it's
want
not
it,
two games. It's
the
one game
return game.
because it's one game because he won the
Yeah,
away
okay.
game. He won the home game
It's
4
first
0.
half.
So you
That's
cannot
right.
use that one game against Barcelona to write off someone who's been coaching
Nah,
for about 20 years,
nah.
man.
Let
You
me give
can't
you let
allow
me
that.
give an example. He's just been biased.
Mhm.
Real Madrid versus Barcelona when Pep Guardiola was in Barcelona with I'm sorry, Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich when Pep Guardiola was coach of Bayern Munich. They went to Real Madrid. Real Madrid beat them 1-0 in the
Mhm.
quarterfinals, I think UEFA Champions League.
True.
Went back to Spain. Real Madrid whooped them, I think 5-0 or it was
4
5
0.
0.
4-0.
4
4
4
0.
0.
So
No,
are you
Eight
gonna tell
goals.
me that because of that Pep Guardiola is not a good coach?
no.
No. Prior to
Nico's
that, Pep
point is
Guardiola
this.
had already
No,
proven his mettle.
no. Nico's
The
point
issue
is
with
this.
Unai Emery had players that we were hoping with. I mean, how do you lose?
Yeah,
The
Nico's
way
point
they
is
lost.
you lose.
It's
Nico's
the way
point
they
is you
lost.
lose. Okay, Nico, let me go back to
Yes.
2000. Nico's point is that you win 4 0 and then you're not
At
able
least
to make
defend.
it to the next.
It happened to
Let's go back to
Barcelona versus Liverpool.
no, that's
No.
even just one time. Let's go to the same Ancelotti the year before, 2004. They
Uh huh.
beat Deportivo La Corona 4-1 in Italy.
Hmm.
They went to Spain for the return game. Deportivo beat them 4-0. Ancelotti, who just won the Champions League the previous year with Milan. What are you going to say about that?
I think, guys, losing 6 goals to one
Okay.
when you
Against
won 4-0,
yeah,
like, come
he
on.
did not lose the
Just
game against. He did
if
not
you
lose
are
that game against Getafe. He
if
lost it
you've
against
watched Mourinho
a
at
team that had
all,
Neymar, that had the MSN, Messi, Suarez, Neymar, MSN. So
true.
you can't just see.
If
What is
you have
about
watched
Mourinho?
if you have watched Mourinho at all, get even the attackers to defend. You
They
do
beat
the
Mourinho 5-0.
Yeah,
I know, but
Guardiola beat
park the
Pep
bus when you
Guardiola
see
beat
that
Mourinho
Barcelona started
5-0.
scoring. How do you lose 6 goals to one?
Pep
Six
Guardiola beat
goals to one.
Pep Guardiola beat Mourinho
Jeez.
5-0. What are you talking about?
no, and the fifth goal was scored before 60 minutes of play. That's something you also have to say. The fifth goal was scored before
You,
60 minutes of
at
play.
the
But let's
point
not go
when they
there.
scored the third, you're
Yeah,
supposed to already carol your guys and say,
I
"Look, guys,
see.
something is wrong here."
I'm not saying Emery did a good job that game, but I'm saying
I mean,
don't use
they
that
went into
one game
I'm
to
gonna
write
so
tell
him
you
off.
look at
this.
this,
I'm
Ajab,
gonna
Let me
tell
Ajab,
you
give
this.
you an example of
guys.
Nico,
Ancelotti.
Nico,
Deportivo,
Yes,
Deportivo 4-1 in
but
Italy.
remember,
And
guys,
then they
remember,
went to
remember,
Spain. He lost
guys,
4-0.
guys, remember this, remember this. They went into halftime at that game. Barca was up 2-0,
Okay.
2-0. At that point, you tell your guys at halftime, say, let's hold this for 45 freaking minutes. 45 minutes of football. Let's
Nico,
avoid taking 2 goals. You cannot defend for 45 minutes as a team.
Nico, you're just talking out of emotions and because you don't like the guy. But I bet you,
I mean,
Emery
this
is a better coach. As I speak right now, Emery is a better coach than Ateta.
no way.
It's one
No
game.
way.
I still say it's one game.
Oh my
You can
goodness.
No way.
explain, it makes sense. But it's just that one game.
How
See
long
the
has
film. You
Ateta
cannot
coached?
use that one. You can't use
I
that
don't.
one game. I said Ancelotti. They call him Don Carlo, right? He lost
Yes.
4-0 after winning 4-1. He went the return game in Spain. He lost 4-0 to
How long?
Deportivo, not to Real Madrid, not to Manchester United at that time, not to Barcelona, not to Bayern Munich. He lost 4-0
And
to Deportivo La Coruna.
How long has Ateta coached?
it doesn't matter to me
No,
because
no,
this
no.
Unai
I
Emery.
want
Hold
to
on.
prove to you
Let
that
me give you more reasons. Hold
I
on.
want to
Let me give
prove
you
to
more
you,
reasons. Right.
Nico. I want to prove to you that right now,
Uh huh.
Emery is a better coach than Ateta. We cannot even
Look, look,
we can't even
look.
argue that.
From that moment on, Unai Emery came to Arsenal. We went to the finals of the Europa League. The first time we went to the finals of the Europa League and got trashed 4 goals to one
Can you name?
Okay,
Can you
by
name?
you won
Chelsea.
your
Can you
Think
name
first
the
time.
about it.
players? Can
The
you name the
first
players
time.
that he took
Think
Arsenal
That's
about
what
to?
I
it.
want to say. So you're not giving him credit for the first
I
time.
cannot. I
Ah,
cannot.
okay.
You don't lose. You don't lose a fan. Okay, so how is he able to win with Sevilla, but he cannot win with an Arsenal team that
See,
had players like? Come
Johan
on,
Cruyff lost the finals of the Champions League to AC Milan
4-0.
4-0. Johan Cruyff
anyway, I have
4-0.
All right. Well, I've never made any agendas or any hidden facts about the fact that my emotions about this guy are
Okay,
never. It's just like you just get people whom you don't gel with. No
okay,
matter what he does for Aston Villa, I still see mistakes. No matter
okay.
Yeah,
what
but
he
that's what I
does
said.
for anybody else, I still see mistakes. I don't get how you can win 4-0 at home, go to someone's house, and he's beating you 2-0 at halftime, and you cannot tell your guys, let's change formation, let's defend in two lines, and let's just make sure that we put the ball out and waste time, do
Nico,
tactics to waste time,
Nico,
get to through
Nico,
45 minutes.
Nico. You said something during the AFCON that those players are professionals. So must he
Mhm.
tell the players to defend? The
No,
players
no,
can
no.
use the
It's not.
initiative.
If you have a play style and you tell the team at the beginning of the game, this is what we're going to
So
do.
how come?
When you
How
come in
come?
at halftime
How
and you don't change it up, the
how
players are
far?
still going to do what you told them initially to do.
How far are you sure
Professionally,
he didn't tell them to sit back and they didn't react to his
he
to
should
the
have
way
made
he
subs
wanted
then.
them to play? So
He
shit
should have made
happens,
subs.
man.
Nico,
Because
quick question.
when they scored the third goal, he should have known
Nico,
that okay, something is not working.
Nico, quick question. Ever since he
Yes.
left PSG, what has PSG won in
Yeah,
Europe?
I mean that's the same thing. It's we
Okay,
can say that they have
okay,
not won anything. They have not
okay.
won anything. But I don't think he's that good a coach. I have never thought he was that good a coach.
He's better
He's
than
talked
Ateta.
about a lot. It's just like Mourinho right now. Any team getting Mourinho right now is just gonna be fluffing feathers for no reason because I don't think his stock has literally fallen. Like Asongu says, like look at his comment, right? Nico, I get you. Unai stock probably fell after that game, but I don't think he's a bad coach. True, he may not be a bad coach, but I've just been biased and I don't hide it. I'm just being very honest. I've just been biased about him
Oh yeah,
so bad
then we
because of
cannot argue about it. If you're just
that's
biased,
true.
then you're biased.
Yeah, we cannot discuss it in those terms, but I've had this inherent bias, especially the fact that he took us to the Europa League and then we lost in the manner in which we lost. I've never been able to forgive him, and that's why I was so much Unai out, and I'm very happy that he's at Aston Villa. Like JC says here on Facebook, they would not even make top four. So let's see how it
No,
goes.
but JC is a Tottenham fan, and Unai Emery, where Aston Villa is now, it's a bonus already to them.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
understand? From the Aston Villa we've known in the previous years. And it's not
yeah,
like
they're playing very
Unai
well.
Emery came in and made some 50 million, 60 million, 70 million signings. He picked a few players he needed, players that he had coached before, like Paul Torres and the rest. And then they added Diaby. So it's not like they spent so much money that they were like, okay, this season we're going for a top four, a top six. Emery came in and then maybe the players he has are players that can work, that can play the kind of game he wants, not
That
the
he wants.
the
Yeah.
Arsenal players who are playing for who are rushing off the match to go and post on Instagram. So it's different. Yeah, it's different.
All right. Well, I mean, understood, understood. He's still a coach for a reason. He's still coaching those top teams for a reason. And even after leaving Arsenal, he still went on to win a ton of trophies with Sevilla and other teams in Europe. So
There you
his
go. And
pedigree
he
is
eliminated Bayern with
undeniable.
with an
Yeah,
unknown Villarreal. You
Unknown
remember?
Villarreal, exactly.
Okay.
And his pedigree is very, very undeniable. I just have this inherent thing about him, and I don't know. Okay, so enough about Emery, enough about the Premier League. Let's do a quick roundup of other leagues. The U.S. Major League Soccer, Chelsea beat New York FC yesterday. Sorry,
Chelsea.
Charlotte
Oh my
FC
God.
beat New York
Chelsea has
FC
now been
yesterday.
relegated. Chelsea has
I
now been
love my
relegated
Charlotte
to the
FC.
MLS.
Charlotte FC. Big
Oh
ups, my
my.
guys. Yeah. Charlotte beat them. Atlanta United lost. Seattle Sounders lost to LAFC, LA Galaxy. I'm looking for Miami. Miami. I think Miami won.
Yeah, they won
Uh,
their first game.
yeah, they won their game because they were
2-0.
the
I think it
first
was
team of
2-0.
the season. Yeah, 2-0. So that's what I wanted to point out. But looking forward to it. True Lion, we should catch the next Charlotte FC game. It's in March 29th. I do have tickets for that. So let's plan to catch that game.
Yep.
Guys, if you're on the stream, please follow, please subscribe. It's very important. Let's talk about La Liga. The lineups for Real Madrid versus Sevilla just came out. The game starts in a little bit, in 30 minutes, I think. So we'll be logging off so we can watch that. But Barcelona took care of Getafe yesterday, or was it today? 4-0.
2-0 yesterday.
Uh, it was yesterday, yeah. Valencia and Granada didn't get to play their game. It was rescheduled. Atletico Madrid, I don't know what's going on with them. They tied. Yeah. So the table looks very interesting there in La Liga. Atletico Madrid is fourth. Girona is third now. Real Madrid, of course, has come up to its top place first, and then Barca is next. Xavi is also leaving. So what's
Can
to
you
make of
imagine?
that?
Can you
Yes, go
imagine?
ahead.
Can you imagine? Xavi is being sacked,
No,
being second. I mean,
he's
he's
not being
leaving.
sacked. He
He's
wants to leave.
leaving.
Yeah,
He's
but
the one
He's
who.
the one that he's the one
no,
who
no, but
decided to
at
leave.
least they came to an agreement.
So
He
the
was
story is Spain needs a new coach. So I think that might be
You
why I
think?
heard a
You
rumor
think they
about
want
that.
to
Yeah,
appoint
no, but
Javi?
no. Let
yeah.
me tell you, Barca, he was not coaching Barca. He was not working at Barca. That's why,
Mm-hmm.
of course, you cannot fire Xavi. So they came into an agreement that he leaves at the end of the season. But what I wanted to point out is that Barca is basically 9 points of Real Madrid, leaders Real Madrid. And if Real Madrid wins today, they will be 12 points of Real Madrid. So that's huge. But what I just
Yeah.
wanted to point out is that he won the league last year. He's having troubles this year, and Barca looks at that and say, "Okay, you're not good enough. You gotta leave. We need somebody to
No,
replace you
I
because
think
that's
I
Barcelona."
yeah, it's Barca is going through a lot of financial troubles now. Remember, they had to sell their TV rights even just to be able to afford salaries
No,
for
but
some
this
of
is
their
not
players.
this has
So
nothing to do with finance.
no, I know, but I'm just saying. I mean, so some of those struggles, if you're a coach and you, for example, you want to buy certain players, and the team and the back staff or the office keeps telling you we can't afford this, we can't afford this. How long do you think you want to stick around, even if you're giving
No,
them the
but
results?
this is not about players.
And I
This
mean,
is not even
but
against
think
players.
about that. There's so many other things that could be happening in the back office that we don't know. I know
No,
that there's
Barca.
rumors.
I'm telling you because I follow Barca. I'm
Mhm.
close to Barca. Barca
Okay.
has enough players. They are not playing that good defensively. They have been very, very poor. Lewandowski, yes, he's 35 years old. He's not striking as he's supposed to. But the coach is not. It's not working. Xavi has been flat in many games. It's not working. So that's why he's leaving. It's not because of finance. It's not because of anything. Barca just made a. I think there was one. Report that came out where Barca just made one of them the most money. You know, they sold. I think first time for first time in the history they sold like the shirt rights and all that. And although
Hmm.
they are also renovating the
The
stadium.
stadium. Yeah.
So you know the next coach that wants to come, we need some good football. I mean, renovating the stadium because where the stadium they are playing now temporarily is about an hour and a half away from the city. So fans have it difficult to actually make it to that stadium. That's why the turnout has not been that good. But the new camp is being renovated, and when that stadium pops out, you know, they want some beautiful football. It doesn't matter if Mbappe is going to Real Madrid. It doesn't matter who Real Madrid is buying. When next season starts, 11 against 11, football needs to be played. And
Do
that's
you
what
know the
Barcelona is
names?
getting
Do
on.
you know one of the names that has been mentioned around Barca as being the next coach, next manager?
Who
Xabi
is the coach?
Alonso.
Xavi?
Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah,
Oh,
Thomas
Thomas.
Thomas
Tuchel.
Tuchel.
Thomas
Tuchel,
Thomas
Tuchel.
yeah,
Tuchel.
Yeah.
Tuchel.
So are you? Do you think when they renovate that stadium, he's going to play that
He's
nice
not the
football
right
that
guy.
you
Let me tell you
fans are
one thing about
clamoring for?
Barcelona. Let me tell you one thing about Barcelona.
Hmm.
Very few times, even when Pep Guardiola was hired, you don't. The coaches are never bigger than the team in
No,
recent
no,
years.
no, 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 no,
Call
no.
me. Let me no.
But,
Let me tell you.
but those are coaches. Those are coaches that are from
No, we're
Barca
talking
history.
maybe we're
No,
We're
talking
no,
talking
about
about
no, no. But
who's almost an outsider.
tell me in the last decade, which coach has gone to Barcelona with a big name?
no. You're not getting
No,
my
because
point.
their
Maybe we're
players,
talking. I'm
their
saying
coaches
that
have always been former
no. I'm
players,
saying
though.
that what I was asking is that so if they bring Tuchel as the coach of
No,
Barca,
that's a rumor. I'm not going to
yeah,
talk on
that's
rumors.
what I was saying.
I'm not
Okay,
going to talk on
yeah,
rumors.
okay.
It's a rumor. We have a right to talk about it, though. It's a
But I'm
rumor
not
that's
gonna. No, that doesn't interest me because I know it's not
no.
founded.
There's some names. No. But think about it. There's some names there that we need to also mention, right? Possible replacements for Xavi that have been assessed. There's conversations about Jurgen Klopp, but folks are just saying that's just news. He's no longer interested in coaching, at least for the time being. There are conversations about what's his name, Sex Fabregas, stepping into the boots. There's conversations about Tuchel that we've heard. The names are many. Let me see. Opta analyst actually did like a thing. Rafa Marquez, who was a midfielder.
Yeah,
There's
yeah. They
Garcia
mentioned Rafa Benitez.
Pimiente. So all these guys who have this link to Barcelona, that's the Barcelona pedigree. That's how Barcelona hires. They usually go to former players and things like that. So Tuchel coming in will not be a good fit, I think.
No, he doesn't
And
fit the Barca philosophy
the
first.
philosophy,
Yeah.
exactly, he doesn't at
So, but
all. So,
But
but
sometimes they
that's
he's
why
say
I'm
the
there's
not
no.
gonna talk on it.
pioneer.
That's
Yeah,
why I'm not gonna
sometimes they
talk on
say
it.
there's no smoke
Yeah.
about. Okay, there's no smoke without fire. But okay, True Lion.
He's doing a lot of work about around football, but
Yeah, he's.
Rafa Marquez also.
I think he's coaching in Italy.
Yeah,
He's
Rafa
coaching in
Marquez
Italy right
also.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cesc. I think Cesc is coaching in Italy.
Yeah, so any of these guys might come in. Laporta is a football guy. He knows who is ready, and he has a lot of experience to actually handpick a good coach. So that will not be a problem. Anybody who comes to coach
No, give
Barcelona.
us a name. Give us a name. What is what?
I'm
That's
not
what.
giving you a name. I'm not giving you a name because I can't give you a name. I mean, it's hard
Okay,
to
who would
predict.
you like? Who would you like? Let's change the question a little bit. Who would you like to coach after Xavi? Who would you like to take over Barca after Xavi?
Pep Guardiola.
Pep. Okay, so you think Pep
We're
will leave
talking
it?
about possible. We're talking about possible
All right.
solutions.
So
Yeah,
Okay.
man.
just a bit of information.
We're
Cesc
talking about
Fabregas
possible,
is
possible.
currently.
See, sorry to interrupt. We
Go
can't
ahead. Go ahead.
close. We can't close this talk without talking. We can't close this show without talking about Zabi Alonso and Bayer Leverkusen.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna talk
It's
about
gonna
that.
be a
We're
long
going to the
talk.
German league. That's why I wanted to interrupt.
Okay.
I was gonna point out that Cesc Fabregas is coaching Como, Serie B
Mhm.
team,
Yeah.
right now, Como, and I was trying to see what their position is in the league. I couldn't pull that up in time, but yeah, he's coaching Como. But let's talk about the German league now, the Bundesliga, because we've talked about the Spanish league enough. I think we kind of have the talking points for the week out of the way. The German league, Bayer Leverkusen, they're still on their grind with about 6 7 points, 8 points, eight
Eight,
point difference
33
from the
matches
second.
unbeaten.
Yeah,
33 unbeaten record.
yeah, 19 wins, 4 draws, 23 games played in the
This season.
tournament in the Bundesliga so far. They have plus 43 goals, 61 points, and Bayern is next with 53 points, having lost 4 games, tied 2, and played and won 17. So it's possible that if Bayer Leverkusen and Javi stay on this track, they will actually become an invincible team, just like Arsenal, the only two in Europe, maybe in
Yeah.
recent history.
Your
So
biggest your biggest trophy
where
is
do you see this one going, guys? It's a sure thing, right? And then Dortmund lost today, so they cannot. I think they're gonna definitely be a showing for fourth because they're now 6 points adrift of the top three. Stuttgart is third. So what are your thoughts? What's your take on this one? The German league already set. We have a champion there. Leverkusen doing it.
yeah, they're looking like they're gonna do it. Bayern is not doing well. Sometimes you can like last season where you saw Dortmund was on top of it, and then you saw Bayern coming closely to them, like right close to them until the very last day when Bayern won the league. Here,
Mhm.
Leverkusen is winning, Bayern is tying or losing. Leverkusen is winning, and by the good thing, like sometimes like Leverkusen, I watched the game against Mainz on Friday. They didn't really play well, but they won. So, like I said, the same thing I mentioned about City, where you see some of those teams that are fighting to win the league, when they don't play good and they still win the game, it's very good for them. So, I think Leverkusen is going to win the league. There's no doubt about it. They're going to win the league. Bayern is not doing well, and sorry, not Klopp. Tuchel is leaving at the end
Crucial
of the season. He's been fighting with Kimmich for
back
some time
office.
now, so things
Yeah.
are not really moving well with Bayern, who is like the only team that could really fight with Leverkusen.
All right. Eno, True Lion. Sorry.
Yeah, I think Leverkusen is actually doing well, and I think Xabi Alonso he's actually gonna win the league. He's doing some good coaching. I think he's also planning to stay with Bayern Leverkusen because some are predicting that he will just wait to see if the real job comes available, maybe in 2 3 years down the line. But that's another coach where maybe Barcelona can actually hire. But I know Barcelona will not be going for someone like that because he's
A
you
former a
know
former Real Madrid player
exactly,
coach.
exactly. It's gonna be
Oh, but no,
difficult.
but Luis Enrique too was a former Real Madrid player, so it's possible.
Yeah, but Luis
Yeah,
Enrique did not really make his name. He did
yeah, he
not
made
really
his name in
appear.
Barca,
He's a
right? He left
Catalania
Real
boy.
Madrid and then
He's
signed for Barca, and then
yeah,
he made his name at Barca. True, that's true. But
yep. So it just depends where your affiliation, where you affiliate yourself to.
Cool. And to the Tottenham fans that are watching, JC, I know what is it to say with Harry Kane going to Bayern and all of a sudden they're not able to win a trophy? Like, is Harry Kane ever going to lift a trophy in his lifetime here? Come on.
he
Like,
needs to sign
what's
for
going on?
he needs to sign for Cotton of Garwa if he wants to
Even if
win.
he goes, yeah, even if he goes to Barcelona or Real Madrid or whatever, it looks like any team he goes to, they just can't do it.
Even if
I mean,
he goes to PSG, they won't win the league. Uh,
that would
there's
be
something
crazy.
there's something with Harry Kane. He needs to tell us the truth.
All right. Well, guys, that's great. Great take.
Inter Milan, they had a
Yeah,
good
let's
game.
let's go into. I mean, the German league is always so almost clear cut,
Yeah,
and it always baffles me because almost before the last month of the league comes, we are already almost sure who is going to win it, and it
yeah.
always makes me think like, what is it with the German with the Bundesliga that can't make these things go down to the wire? I know there was a time when Dortmund lost it on the last day. Was it
Last
last
season,
season?
last
Yeah,
season,
last
yeah.
season when Dortmund lost it on the last day, right? That was
Mhm.
the most interesting part. I actually watched that. But whenever we get to this point of the league and it's like, we already know who's gonna win, I just lose interest and I stop watching.
Yeah.
I mean, what
You
is
know
it
what?
about the German league? What are
You know
what
what's
is your
happening
take
in
on
Germany? Bayern has that financial muscle. So Bayern
that?
goes to each of those top teams in Germany and pick out and sign in their best players. If you notice, that's what they've been doing for some time now. They go to Dortmund, they signed Mario Götze. He came, he couldn't prove. By the time he went back to Dortmund, he was done already. This season, they've gone to Leipzig. They picked what's his
Mhm.
name, Lima. So that's what they do. So they weaken the other teams, and the other teams like, okay, we know we can't fight Bayern. Let's just try to make out our money, and if we're able to meet up with them, fine. If we win the
Yeah.
league, no problem. If we finish second, it's still a trophy for us because Bayern they have all what it takes to sign whichever
Yeah.
player they want to. They come to our teams and they get our players because they have the money, you know. So that's how I just look at the German league because Bayern has been that's what they've been doing to win. Sometimes once every 5 or 6 years, one team comes in and try to fight with Bayern, and then they go back, and then the next season you hear Bayern has signed one or two players from that club. So it happens like that.
Be interesting. That should be interesting. All right. Now on to sorry, True Lion. Can I get your take on this one? The Bundesliga, always a foregone conclusion, with an exception of last season where we saw it go all the way down to the wire. What are your quick thoughts, if any?
I think about the last time anything trumped Bayern was when Klopp was there. Dortmund won two Bundesligas. Yes, but at least Bayern has been dominating the Bundesliga for quite a while. But the other thing that makes a difference is that it's not like where you see PSG dominating the French league, then they come in to Europe and they can't play. Bayern Munich dominates Bundesliga, comes to Europe and still win the UEFA Champions League. So
Mhm.
German league is a good league, very competitive, but Bayern is just that team that's really good that wins the league most of the time.
All right. Great, great, great. So let's leave it at that for the Bundesliga and talk about the Serie A. Interesting things happening there. Inter Milan, 66 points. Talk about foregone conclusion. With Juventus, a close second, a far off second, I should say, with 57 points. And AC Milan is what off with another 50 with 53 points. And then if you look at the form, Bologna has won their last five, Atlanta has won their last five, Atalanta, sorry, has won the last five, and Inter has also won their last five. But then the difference is Inter is first, Bologna is fourth. They're separated by 20 points, 21 points, maybe 19 points. I think my math may be playing a game on me there. But
18,
think
18,
about it.
18 points.
18
18.
points, 18, yeah. So think about it. Thanks for helping me out there with the math. Guy, you be do board master school. But so think, I mean, foregone conclusion just kills the interest in the league, or is this something we can still watch? We can still keep watching, and Juventus may just figure out a way to get in the last few days.
It's done.
No, of course. I mean, the problem is that, like, one thing that I like about European leagues is that everybody watch the league. So people watch it for different levels, reasons. The Italian league is a very technical league. You know, a lot of people might just look the results and say no, but there are some games you watch because you want to really consume and evaluate the type of football that's being played in those leagues. I saw myself watching Marseille the other day. I didn't like the way they actually played. I realized that Marseille is a team that has actually that's not been good. I asked myself, who is signing these players? Because sometimes you watch some of those players and their first touch, second touch is so bad, and then you cringe. Yeah. So people watch different leagues and different games for different reasons. So
Okay. All right. Ajab, any thoughts about the Syria?
Inter Milan, man, those guys, that's a typical example of a team that you see is being coached based on the availability of the players or the players he has at his disposal.
Okay.
Mhm. Inzaghi is doing a phenomenal job. And just to think of it, 75 or 80% of the players in Inter, they get them on free transfer. They don't pay. They don't pay. They don't have money. They're going through financial difficulties. They go after those players who are running towards the end of their contracts and they get them. That's how they do. That's what they do. That's how they get their players for like the last 2 3 seasons. And if you come to them and you want to pay what they valued for their player, even if it's their best player, they sell it. You see, that's what they got Onana for free. One season after they sold him to United.
For a lot of
Then they
money.
brought in Jan Sommer for 5 million. Jan Sommer now has the most clean sheets and the most saves in all top leagues in Europe. You
Yeah.
see, so and then you see they got Marcus Thuram at absolutely
Okay.
no cost, and now he's firing
They'll
cylinders in
be
also in
selling
the
him for at
Italian
least
league.
70 million. Yeah.
The other season they sold this guy to PSG, Hakimi, that they just
Hmm.
bought for like 50, 60 million, brought Dumfries from the Dutch league for like 10 million. So they're going about making their money and still doing their job. So I'm so in love with Inter Milan. And they're playing good football. They're not just playing the three at the back because they want to sit and defend. They're playing three at the back, and you can see Bastoni playing as one of the three back defenders, but he moves forward like John Stones was doing for Man City last season. So they're really playing some good football. The tactics are really working. They're making their money. Everything is working for them. So I just like what is going on in Inter Milan right now. I used to be an Inter Milan fan back in the days of Ronaldo, Luis Nazario, Dalima. I just got myself an Inter Milan jersey, which I'm waiting for it to come because I'm falling in love with them again.
I see you're trading in Chelsea for Inter
No,
there.
no, no,
That's
no, no. I'm not trading in Chelsea. It's just that at least sometimes when you want to watch different leagues, you need some
to
sentimental attachment to certain
the
teams.
ones that you
So
have.
Inter
Yeah.
will be that team in Italy that when I want to watch them, I watch them with a little bit of you know
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
sentiments.
Great, great, great. All right. One thing to also talk about Inter, it's a huge talking point. They've played what is it? How many games? I walked away from that one. They've played 25 games and they have not taken a single red card. 33 yellow cards. Every so pretty impressive there. Um let's move on to the French league. Let's move on to the French league because we've hit the hour mark there, and I want us to at least cover all these top leagues. French league. I think True Lion, you mentioned that you watch these leagues, and sometimes the first touch of the ball is so so questionable. I want to give you the leeway on this one. Start us off with your thoughts on the French league. PSG, of course, is running away with it. They are 9 points clear at the top. With Mbappe leaving this season, that is definitely a farewell gift to them. Do you think they have the goods? I think we talked about them also in our Champions League review game discussion, where we talked about their prestation against what was the team, Sociedad, and their chances of getting through to the round of eight. So talk to me here. Quick thoughts about the French league. I think you're muted.
I
We lost your
watched,
audio. There you go.
yeah, I watched Olympique Marseille for the Europa League. I've really not watched a game of the French league because of conflict of interest. But however, they have Luis Enrique. That's the right man to actually maybe build that PSG team after Mbappe leaves. That's all I can say.
Mhm. So Marseille is a mid-table team in
Yeah,
the league right now. They're, I think, ninth place. Yeah, ninth place, and they have not had a good run of form. But we know in the Europa League, Aubameyang has been firing the goals. He's literally been scoring, and he's the highest goal scorer right now in the Europa League. He holds the record. So
yeah. He
um,
beat Father. He beat Falcao's record too.
yes, that's right. So go ahead, Ajab. Your quick thoughts about the French league.
Yeah, they may try. The European League will still have some teams like AC Milan, Liverpool, so it's going to be really tough for Marseille. I wanted to say that they may use the Europa League to revive themselves this season, but the other
Mhm.
teams will still have some tough teams there, so it's going to be tough for them. But and they won their last game against Shakhtar Donetsk with a new coach, Gasset, who used to coach Ivory Coast. He replaced Gattuso a few days ago, about a week ago, and then he had his first game. But something I don't know. I watched immediately after Chelsea Liverpool match. I switched to the PSG Rennes match, and I saw one of the worst penalty calls ever made in football.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Ever made in football. One of the worst penalty.
Okay, I think we've lost Ajab there. Ajab, you still on? I think we lost your audio there for a little bit. Yeah, I think we lost Ajab's audio for a little bit. So quick thoughts here. About the league. I think Ajab was going to talk about seeing the worst call. I don't know what that call is, but I'll be switching over to Real's game in a little bit. I think the game will be starting in a few minutes. So we'll be able to watch that one. Um, so quick. Thank you, Ajab. I think we have you back now. Yeah, I think we have you back
The worst
now.
penalty call I ever saw in a football game. PSG
Mhm.
Rennes. I don't know if anyone else was watching that game. They gave the PSG a penalty at the last minute. I've never seen that call in the history of football. VAR gave it. And
And
also
VAR didn't review.
Christopher Wu had a very good game against PSG today. His first game since the AFCON. And he had a really good
Okay.
game. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know. All right, gentlemen, we have come to the top of the more than top of, yeah, almost at the top of the hour. Three almost 3 p.m. We've been on the stream now for a little over an hour. We always try to keep this short, but this is a weekend roundup, and so it's gonna go a little long. We also had the Carabao Cup to talk about and explore the various leagues in Europe, the top leagues. We don't have a ticker for the league Elite One Championship in Cameroon just yet, but once that ticker starts coming in on who scored and all the other good stuff, I think we'll be able to give you some highlights, some quick roundup on that.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
of course, there's some sites we can find, and we're still making that transition there. So just bear with us, Cameroonian fans or African football fans. We will be coming to you guys with some of that information as time goes on, and we expand our team, of course, and our research capabilities, right? So, gentlemen, any parting words? I think we've covered all the comments so far. Yes, we have. Any parting words? Trulan, you want to go first? Thank
Well,
you.
yeah. Well, I have to say is that the EPL title race is on, and as I see things, it will be one that will maybe lead to a two-man contest by the time we get into March and March is over. And the two last standing, in my opinion, will be Manchester City and Arsenal.
All right. Thank you. All right, Ajab.
Yeah, like I said, Liverpool, yeah, they haven't, even though Trulan doesn't agree with me, I think the players they have on fit right now is going to make them leave that three-man race to a two-man race. But you never know. They may be able to grind a 1-0, 1-0, 1-0 on some, but I'm just hoping and I'm thinking that it's going to be an EPL season where we're going to wait till like the 37th or 38th game to see who's going to win. I don't want that celebrating trophies when you still have 4 games to go. This one this year looks like it's gonna maybe go down the wire, maybe like to the last 2 games, or maybe worst case, yes, let's say last 2 games before I eventually see who's gonna be the winner.
Okay. All right. When you look at it, I'm not too sure who has the tougher fixture because each team still has to play each team. I think Arsenal has actually finished its round up with Liverpool, but I think City
I
still has
think
to face Liverpool. But Arsenal still has to face Man U, Chelsea, Tottenham,
And
and
Man
Man
City,
City
yeah. So
and
if
Man
you're talking
City.
about
So the
if
Premier
you
League
yeah, if you're talking about toughest schedule, I think Arsenal has the toughest schedule because they have Manu away. They have about three away games.
away games are like eight.
Aston Villa is it also away game.
Mm-hmm.
Tottenham, they have Tottenham away game. I think
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal has the toughest schedule.
Yeah. And so it's going to be a tough one. But we'll see how the running goes. Many of these things will make a lot more sense when it's the end of March or maybe mid-March, end of March, and we're looking at April, because I think that's around the point when the city's wheels come off and they just keep going. Outside of that, gentlemen, Harry Kane is on track to break Robert Lewandowski's goal scoring Bundesliga record. Hopefully he does it, but I don't know. It's everywhere Hurricane goes, the trophies escape. Outside the Premier League, of course, Leverkusen. We talked about their unbeaten run. Just impeccable coaching from Xabi Alonso. Um, Quite an interesting choice for a coach too. Uh, excuse me, at the time, and he's doing the job. Um, Now, to close out, a huge congratulations to Liverpool. Carabao Cup winners. It's possible Liverpool can send Klopp off with 4 trophies this season. Carabao Cup is just the very first one. My hope is that it doesn't happen because we won't hear the end of it. Liverpool has some really mouthy supporters. But hey, I heard them singing their song today and celebrating. They have a right to celebrate. Celebration police not out on them there. It's just the Carabao Cup. It's a very small trophy, but still a cup, and it counts for something. Does anybody know how much that cup is? How much money comes in that cup? Because I'm not too sure
Maybe bragging rights.
how much the winnings. Yeah, just the bragging rights, I guess.
No, but
But
it must come
there
in
has
two
to be
hands.
some type of financial thing. Yeah,
I
because
think
it's sponsored by,
the bragging rights are more important.
yeah, it's sponsored by the
Mhm.
brewing company there, Carabao. Okay, but anyways, thank you guys so much for staying on. Thank you for tuning in. Of as always, really, we really appreciate you guys. And please do not forget to like and subscribe. Do share the link so that some other folks who missed the stream can also sign on and listen, or maybe just watch the podcast and see how it went. And we really like to engage you on the comments, especially. That's why we take our time sometimes to go over some of the comments that have come in throughout the show, and we will still engage you after the show if you have any comments, because I think that's how we learn and recalibrate and make ourselves better. So thank you guys so much, and wish you all the best for the rest of the weekend. Have a good one. Bye for now, everybody.
Thank you.